In this part, we're going to go over degree and leading coefficient within a polynomial. Now, before we go into degree and leading coefficient, let's talk about the types of polynomials. So here I wrote monomial, binomial, trinomial, and polynomial. Now, monomial or mono means one term. Binomial, bi means two terms. Trinomial, tri, means three terms. And then polynomial, poly means many terms. Now, an example of a monomial could be, say, 6x to the 5th power. And then binomial, it could be, say, negative 4x squared plus 9x to the 7th power. Trinomial would be three terms, so say we have 3x to the 4th minus 8x to the 5th plus 7x squared. Polynomial, meaning more than many terms, basically more than 3. So you could have like negative 2x to the 9th plus 4x to the 7th minus 5x to the 8th minus 3x to the 5th. So, if you look closely, the first example is just one term. So monomial. The second one is two terms. See how many times I underline? Binomial. Here, three terms, so trinomial. The last one, more than three, polynomial. So those are an example of each type. You might be asked to distinguish between monomial, binomial, trinomial, polynomial. And then you're going to hear me referring to examples as a binomial, trinomial, or polynomial, sometimes even monomial. Now, if you pay very close attention, these can be classified as monomial, binomial, trinomial, and polynomial as long as the exponents are positive, meaning that we can't have non-negative exponents when we're classifying as monomial, binomial, trinomial, and polynomial. So again, you should not have negative exponents when you're classifying in these types. The reason is each of these types, they can't have a term in the denominator. So here's what I mean. So say that you had 4x to the negative 9th power. So that will equal to 4 over x to the 9th power. You see how my term x to the 9th, it went into the denominator? So this cannot classify as a monomial. So when you have a term that's in the denominator, we cannot classify as a monomial, we can't classify as binomial, we cannot classify as trinomial, we cannot classify as a polynomial. So when you're classifying, make sure that your exponents are positive. If in the event they are negative, that means cannot be classified as a polynomial, cannot classify as trinomial, cannot classify as binomial, cannot classify as monomial. That's all you have to say. If you do have a positive exponents, then yes, you can classify them based on how many terms you have. But again, if in the problem, if you're given negative exponents, simply say you cannot classify them. Next, we're going to focus on identifying degree and leading coefficient. Alright, so degree and leading coefficient. Now it ties into what I was describing earlier, monomial, binomial, trinomial, and polynomial. Now when you're asked to find degree, you're basically looking for the term with the highest exponent. So you're basically looking for the term that has the highest exponent. So let me underline that, highest exponent. And then leading coefficient is the number front of the term with highest exponent. So, leading coefficient is the number front of the term with highest exponent. So, when it asks you to find degree and leading coefficient, you first identify which term has the highest exponent, then you're able to identify leading coefficient. Next, we're going to do some examples on how to find degree and leading coefficient. Alright, in our first example, say that if I ask you to classify this term, or what you have here, so I would say that I have two terms, so this is a binomial, and if you were asked to find degree, so I'm going to put D for degree, I don't have to write the whole word. So you look at the exponent, so it's 5 and 9, so the highest is 9, so I'm going to put D equals 9 for my exponent. Sorry, D equals 9 for highest exponent. Now I'm going to put LC for leading coefficient. So basically the number that's in front of the highest exponent. So since I have a minus 7, my LC will be negative 7. And then that will be my answer for this example. Example 2. Alright, so if you're asked to classify as what kind of polynomial you have, I have 1, 2, 3. So 3 terms, so trinomial. Now, if you're asked to find degree, so you look at the exponent 4, 7, 11. So 11 is the highest, so I'll put D equals 11. Now, LC, my leading coefficient, is the number, the coefficient in front of the highest exponent. So it's a positive 8, so LC equals to 8. And then that will be my answer for this example. In our third example, we have this one term, 14x to the third. So if I were asked to classify this, this will be a monomial. If it's a monomial, so it's going to be pretty easy to find degree, which is my 3, and then my LC, which is 14. Now over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So this is a polynomial. 2x to the 5th minus 9x to the 7th minus 8x to the 10th plus 4x to the 9th. So if I were to ask to classify, this will be classified as a polynomial. Now for degree, look at the highest exponent. So between 5, 7, 10, and 9, 10 is the highest, so D equals 10. Now my LC is the number in front of the highest exponent, so minus 8. So LC is negative 8. And that would be my answer for this example.